What's up, everybody? This is Brent from Vaperite. Today I'm going to show you how to fill up a Carto tank. Right now I've just got a regular DC tank. That's what it's classified under in our retail and online. So if you go to order, just regular DC tank. The components of this tank, you're going to get a drip tip, always helpful. You're going to get a Cartomizer. Cartomizer is the part that goes on the inside. A lot of people think it's the whole tank. Just the middle piece is the Cartomizer. Then you've got the tank as it's going to hold the juice around it. Basically, your Cartomizer is going to have a hole punched into it. That hole is there so that when you fill up the tank around the Carto, juice is going to seep through that hole, keep the Carto primed up. And what I mean by primed up is that the Carto has polyfill on the middle, so you'll want to keep that polyfill fully saturated with juice. There is a coil inside of there, and you want to keep the whole coil saturated. Because if you don't, basically it's just going to burn it out. So when we say primed, we just mean saturated with the juice. Best way to do that, you're going to prime the Carto before you put it in the tank to put juice around it. My favorite way to do that is to go in, put about 4 drops on the bottom. That would be the side with the threading. That goes into your 510 Ego mod, anything that you're putting your Cartomizer tank on. When you drop a drop onto the bottom of there, basically it's going to soak it down in there because of that polyfill. So it's going to go through that air channel, and the polyfill is going to catch it and soak that in. I usually do about 4 to 6 drops through the threading part, and then maybe 8 to 10 drops up top. Like I said, you want to get the whole thing saturated, so if you go from the bottom and the top, basically just kind of ensures that you'll get the whole thing saturated. After you do that, you're going to put your Carto tank in about halfway. You're going to tilt it, fill the juice in, let it run down the side, and then when the juice starts to get by the top of that Cartomizer, you're going to push the Cartomizer up a little bit more. Keep filling it up with juice until you can get that juice as high as you can, and then go ahead and push it up. Now I'm going to do all this. First I'm going to prime the Carto. Like I said, I like to do about 4 to 6 drops through this bottom piece. And as you can see, when the drop gets on there, it's just going to suck it right down. And we're going to do 4 drops on this one. It looks like it's soaking it down pretty good. If you have a drop, just sit on top for a little bit, and you might want to put a few more drops in there because that means that cotton is kind of resisting the juice a little bit. So then after you do that, you're going to come near the top. It's just like the Cartomizer in the fact that you don't want to get a whole lot of juice into that air channel. It's not going to flood things up as bad as it would for a Cartomizer if you get it in the air channel, but you still want to avoid that as much as possible. So I'm going to tilt just like the Cartomizer, drop it down the side, and let that juice hit the polyfill. Now what you're looking for is for that polyfill to look kind of like a slushy. You want it to be saturated with that juice. And the way I do it, I'll watch it, and if that juice sits on top of the polyfill for more than a few seconds, that means it's probably good. It's probably filled up. If that polyfill is soaking it right in, that means they could use some more. And usually I will go until I get a little bit of excess juice dripping out of the bottom, just to kind of let me know that it is fully saturated and that it can't hold any more juice. So I'm going to prime that Carto up, get it real saturated, because like I said, Carto is a little bit different than a Cartomizer. If you don't get that cotton saturated and you take a hit, it's going to burn it out. I've burnt out way more Cartos than I'd like to admit, just by under priming them. So you want to make sure you get it primed. Over priming is always better than under priming. You can flood it out if you over prime, but that can always be fixed. You cannot fix a burnt Carto. So once we got our Carto primed up, we're going to put it about halfway into the tank, and then basically we're just going to tilt it and drop juice down the side, kind of like the Cartomizer, avoiding the Cartomizer in the middle. And when it gets near the top of that Cartomizer, you'll want to push it up a little bit more so you have some more room. I'm not going to fill it up all the way. We're working with a sample bottle right now, so I'm just going to basically get it high enough for that pre-punched hole to have juice over it. That's the goal, is to have juice seeping into that Cartomizer through the tank. So once you get that tank filled up a little bit, you're going to throw your drip tip on there and you're good to go. You got 510 threading down here, so it works with any Ego battery, and then most mods will have that 510 threading as well. Cartomizers, it's debatable, definitely, but Cartomizers to me are always going to give you a better hit and a better flavor than Clearmizers. To me, they're kind of the step up from Clearmizers. Clearmizers are great for beginners, but if you're ready to go to the next level of vaping, a Carto would definitely be the next step. So that's how you're going to fill up your Carto tank. There's a lot of different Carto tanks out there, as you can see with mine. All of them are going to fill up just about the same though. So if you have any problems with it, you can always call us, email us, or come in to one of our 2 locations. We've got the Woodstock location, and now we've got Vaperite Midtown ATL. So come check us out. If you need any help, come on in. We'll help you out. And that's a Cartomizer tank. Thanks for stopping by, guys.